Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where the U.S. becomes a communist nation. That's right, communism has appeared in the U.S. Well, actually, it has been in the U.S. for a while. It's always been in the U.S. It is a party, but it's not as popular as the Democratic or the Republican parties. But we're gonna see some communism uprisings in the U.S. due to the trade war with China. The U.S. and China are going through a trade war because of Trump and the tariffs that's going on, and the farmers are not doing good because of those tariffs. So the Trump is not doing anything about that, so the farmers will decide to revolt. But they can't do that on their own. Someone will have to help them. That someone is someone who hates Trump. Maybe the Chinese will fund this uprising. But we do see it. Some areas start to break away, like some areas over in California will start to break away from the Central American government. Even some parts of Oregon, even a large portion of Washington will break away. We see a bit of Texas revolt. These are communist uprisings. Even areas in Florida will begin to revolt. Also, parts of Georgia will revolt. Even the Delmarva Peninsula will decide to revolt against the central government. That is the closest part that's to their capital. Even Long Island will revolt. Also, a bit of New England will revolt. And Michigan some parts of Michigan will revolt. Hawaii will become independent. Alaska will probably go ahead and unite with Canada. So we can go ahead and just do that real quick. Because we don't really care about because we're more focused on the US. So Alaska, you can go ahead and go over to Canada. I'm assuming the Alaskans really wouldn't mind this, because it's gonna make the borders look a little better. Because I don't think the U.S. would go and deal with that, and annexing Hawaii, Alaska, because they're having a bit more issues. So with these communist uprisings happening, we see Puerto Rico declare independence away from the United States. And we see even more areas start to, more areas of Florida and Georgia will start to decide to break away. More and more of this area near Delmarva, especially near Washington, will decide to break away. And eventually, these two uprisings will meet up into one giant uprising, as well as getting more support over here. The New England uprising will get more support. The Texan one will get a little bigger. with a lot more support coming from the population. This Californian one will gain support right here. Connecting up this one will also connect those up over here. We see this Oregon rebellion, communist uprising appearing even more as they start to connect up with more territory. You see the Washington rebellion meet up with this area, and as well as this. We see the Michigan rebellion gaining steam and starting to approach into Wisconsin. So, the U.S. government is unable to stop this uprising. These uprisings are very strong. We all know why. We already know why, of course. It's because of the Chinese funding the rebellion. But a lot of the U.S. will become... A lot of this will become a communist uprising, which I think NATO would immediately try to send help towards the government. Though because of Trump, I don't think they would right now. So I think the U.S. would just be expelled from NATO. So NATO would not help the U.S. Especially because they're dealing with communist uprisings. And NATO does not like communism. So they'll probably just kick the U.S. out of NATO. So they don't have a communist nation in their alliance. So that's why we see the U.S. not being able to fight back. I'm not going to show any invasions because this is uprisings. A lot of the military here is joining up with the farmers as well, which is not good if you're loyal to the U.S. because you might die. Especially Trump supporters. I don't think these farmers like Trump right at this moment, so I think that's... So I think they might steal any Trump supporters. Or anyone who's trying to defend their own country. Because they are trying to revolt and they don't want to deal with any... they don't want to deal with any problems while they're trying to revolt. So yeah, a lot of the U.S. is going through some stuff. But something interesting is happening up here in Canada. Let me just get a map real quick. Sorry, I was just looking at something. The region of Quebec will break away from Canada as a nation, but not just a regular nation. They are influenced with communism. Yes, that's right. With this area being disconnected, they choose to sink into the ocean. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. They choose to sink into the ocean. You thought I wouldn't do this? God. I mean to click that one. Sorry.
For what?
Nothing. How can you remember? Now over here with NATO, there's a bit of turmoil happening because of the communist revolutions in the US. There'll be some communist uprisings in Eastern Europe, especially in the Baltics, where they will be forced to leave NATO and become a communist nations. We even see a bit of Poland declare they are communist, which Poland gets kicked out of NATO and they become communist. Yet again. Kaliningrad will decide to join up decide to get divided up between communists and the Lithuania and Poland. Back over here in the US, a large group decides to break away, and this is a giant front. A giant rebellion now. Since this is it consists of almost all of the former Confederacy. So that's a giant rebellion. Some more people over here will decide to revolt. More and more people over here decide they want to revolt. Over here, these guys will be revolting away. Over up to here. Over here with the Texan Revolution. Texan Communist Revolution. They get a lot of steam. They get a lot more population because of the people here wanting to break away from the central government. If I can get this to work. And the Californian Revolution will meet up with the Oregon one, establishing one giant West Coast vote. As well as this, they will meet up with the Washington one, and they will expand quite a bit. Now almost looking just like Washington. Oh, what? Almost all of the U.S. is under communist control. Maybe I might do a part 2. Who knows? This video might be getting too long. I might make this into a full-on series, actually. That's gonna be it for this episode of What If
Look outside.
the U.S. became a communist nation. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.